and welcome back to Discworld Noir, and, well, like I said last time, I've had a think, and there's one person I can speak to about this thing, about Regans' picture. It's a long shot, but you never know. Mr. Scoplet at the wharf.
Not for much longer, I hope.
Let's just ask him about the counterweight killings first. See if he knows anything about that.
Do you know anything about the counterweight killings? Sorry, I wouldn't know anything about that.
It was a long shot. What about the picture? Do you know anything about this guy?
I showed Regan's picture to the first mate, and he recognized it. Yes, I think that was the dwarf who pulled up in a carriage shortly after we docked. I think he collected some of the cargo, too. Do you remember which way he went? He drove away upwards, at high speed. I wouldn't be surprised if he caused an accident somewhere down the line.
Hey, got a new clue. That'd be useful. Thank you very much, Mr. Scoplet.
Well, safe voyage, if that's possible.
Let's go back to the map. See if we can tell the Count about this. Hey, the ship's gone. Let's go back there. Yeah, the ship's gone. Have they left anything behind? Oh, there's a mooring line there.
When the Milka left, someone must have left one of the mooring lines behind. That was careless. Some people will steal anything.
Like me. Let's see if I can nick it.
If I pride myself on anything, it's that I don't steal without a good reason. Well, I don't steal rope without a good reason.
Okay, can I attach this to it?
Some people will steal anything, and that includes me, it seems.
Yay, got my proper grappling hook back. What's up here? Have I been up this way before? Oh, okay, it leads here. Okay, I wonder if I can use my grappling hook to get back up to the roof. See if there's anything inside the warehouse. So move down here, please. Alright, let's see if we can do this. Can we go back inside?
When I broke in before, there was a stack of crates for me to climb down. Now there was nothing. I needed another way in.
Okay, I guess not going to get in that way then. Oh, you can... Oh, that's useful to know. Double click means you just go straight out. Let's go back to the mansion.
I see Sir has returned. Sir has? Who would Sir like to see?
This guy's never not funny. Let's ask this guy about Regans Carriage.
3 nights ago, Regan left the wharf in Ankh, heading hubwards in a carriage. Did you see him? I'm sorry. I cannot assist, sir, in that matter.
He's your driver. You should have some concern about him. About the Count.
Is the Count receiving guests? No. But he will see you. I've got a few more questions for you, Count.
Yes, good questions. Go on.
See if this guy knows anything more. Oh, no, I don't want to be here. I want to be in this one. Regans Carriage.
I found someone who saw Regan's carriage the other night.
Just let me know when you found Regan.
Okay, I will do that. Bye-bye.
I'll be back later.
I look forward to it.
Oh, there's an accident. I wonder if there's been any... I could try Carlotta, see if she knows anything about it. Let's try that first, actually. Carlotta.
Here's as good as anywhere.
Regans Carriage?
3 nights ago, Regan left the wharf in Ankh, heading hubwards in a carriage. Did you see him?
Be careful, Luton. I don't appreciate people wasting my time.
Yeah, I guess not. Okay, thank you. It was worth a shot.
I've got things to do. I'll see you around, Carlotta.
Oh, an accident like that, as I say, must have... I wonder if they watched or anything about it. Nobby? Nobby.
I need your help again, Nobby. Well, okay, I suppose.
Do you know anything about this?
Did anyone report a speeding carriage 3 days ago? Funny you should ask that. Sergeant Colon was almost run down by a carriage 3 days ago. He's been going on about it ever since. Says we ought to have speed limits for carriages. How would you tell what speed a carriage was going? Well, a watchman's instincts are never wrong. You could always go for a
Watchman's
more
instincts.
preventative approach. Like what? Well, you could ban carriages altogether.
Good idea.
Yeah,
Should do that.
that'd work. Hey, you could go one step further. You could ban people from Ankh-Morpork, and then there'd be no crime at all. Well, there'd still be the trolls and the dwarfs, and the gargoyles, and the gnomes, and the undead and the golems. But the golems don't make much crime, and the gargoyles' only crime is Adicide. And it's not like we're short of pigeons. But the trolls and the dwarfs, well, I mean, they make as much crime as any of the humans, maybe even more. It's no fun when it's this easy. Like shooting fish at a barrel. Eh? Never mind. About this carriage the other night. Where did Colon see it? I think he said it was headed for the Borderland Bridge. It
Oh,
wasn't much
okay.
of a lead, but at least it was something. Usually you could only get a lead out of Nobby with a scalpel.
It's a map preference. I will take it. Borderland Bridge. Well, something's happened here, obviously.
The Borderland Bridge was one of 10 bridges that linked the city of Ankh to the city of Morpork. It was an unremarkable structure, most famous for the number of suicides it attracted. The trouble with trying to drown yourself in the Ankh is that you're more likely to break a leg falling onto the thick crust of the river than actually come near any water. Still, if you were heavy enough, you could eventually sink into the depths. I can think of nicer ways to go, though, and much quicker ones, too.
So what have we got here? Railings.
The railings had been damaged. There was no telling when they'd become damaged, though. It wasn't as if I came this way every day. I doubt many people did. I wasn't strong enough to bend the railings back into shape, and frankly, what would be the point?
The river. Anything down there? Where are you going? Come back over here, please. Thank you.
The River Ankh. Probably the only river in the universe on which you could chalk the outline of a corpse. I'd already had to dive onto the Ankh once. I wasn't about to do it again. Besides, the river seemed slightly more liquid here than at the wharf. Well, I use the term liquid loosely. If it wasn't for the fact that it moves faster than the surrounding land, I wouldn't know what to call it.
Oh, skid marks. This looks interesting. What's this?
Something had clearly lost control on the bridge. Something with wheels. Beyond that, it was difficult to say.
Can you do anything
I
with them?
wasn't about to scrape the marks off the bridge.
What's it? Torn fabric. Oh, this looks interesting.
Some fabric had caught on the railings of the bridge.
Hey, I got it. Yeah, I wonder if anybody recognises this.
I see Sir has returned.
Sir has.
Who would Sir like to see?
Let's see if the Count
Is
recognises
the
it.
Count receiving guests?
No, but he will see you.
I've got a few more questions for you, Count.
Yes, good questions. Go on.
I'd found some fabric caught on the railings of the Borderland Bridge. It was distinctive enough that I hoped someone would recognize it.
Do you recognise
Do you
this?
recognize this fabric?
Yes, it's familiar. Yes, I remember. It's from the carriage. I liked the carriage. Do
Yes.
you know where it is?
From Regans Carriage?
Yes, from the canopy.
That's what I thought.
I know where it is then. It's
I'll be
down the
back
bottom of the
later.
river.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, can I get it out? Let's go back to the bridge. Ooh, Got this grappling iron now. My new grappling iron. Can I do that with it? Hey, it's working. Whee! Splat.
There was something down there. I was sure of it. But I wasn't strong enough to pull it up.
New clue. What's the new clue? Something in the river. Do we know anyone who's strong enough to pull it up? Well, there's this guy. Oh, Rodan's gone. Sorry, a bit slow on the uptake there. Malachite.
Well, I'm back.
Can you do a job for me?
Listen carefully, Malachite. I've been patient with you, and you owe me a favor. I need you to use the grapple to pull something out of the River Ankh. I don't know for sure what it is, but it's big. Too big for me to lift. But you could do it, and I figure you owe me one.
Look,
Therma
that's all he
is
ever
dead.
says.
Remember? We found her in the mausoleum.
Not Therma. Therma alive. Find Therma.
Look, she is dead. Get used to it.
Not dead. Find Therma.
All
Oh,
right.
blimey, he's really getting agitated.
Big dumb troll. I'll carry on looking for Therma if you help me get this thing out of the river. Do we have a deal?
I poor thing. You find Therma.
Yes. You scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. Or something. Whatever you want scratched, within reason.
Don't want scratching. Find Therma.
Okay. You pull thing, I find Therma.
Sounds
Got
good
it?
deal.
Need grapple.
That may be the first intelligent thing you've said to me.
Oh, let's give him his toy back.
Ready
There
now?
it is.
You lead.
With pleasure.
Here we go. Whee! Splat.
I hadn't been able to move whatever it was in the river. Malachite pulled it up onto the bridge like
Oh,
it
look
was
at that.
made of paper. I
Whee!
wasn't surprised to learn it was Regans Carriage, but it still wasn't clear how it ended up going off the bridge.
Anything inside? Oh, that looks interesting. Wonder what that is. Yoink.
Amidst the wreckage, I found a small ornamental box. But before I could examine it in detail, Malachite took an interest. I didn't
dear.
want to give it to him, but he looked like he'd rupture a fault line if I didn't. He kept insisting that the box proved that Therma was alive, or at least that's my best interpretation of what he was trying to say. With his usual annoying habit, Malachite just walked off, taking
my
the
clue.
box with him. That
He's got
left
my
me
clue.
to get back to my usual habit of not really knowing what was going on.
Well, it's a clue. Carriage.
The carcass of Regans Carriage lay on the bridge like a beached whale. I searched it, but I'd already found everything of interest. The remains of a crate was all that was left.
Okay. Oh, Regan.
There was no doubt that it was
No.
Regan, and there was no doubt that he was dead. The poor sap must have suffocated in the Ankh. I
Can you
searched
search it?
Regan's body, but all I found was a pair of tiny bite marks on his ankle. Either he'd been bitten by a snake, or a very small vampire.
Wait, does something look about that body look odd to you?
There was no doubt that it was Regan, and there was no doubt that he was dead. The
Hmm.
poor sap must have suffocated in the Ankh.
Let's get the... Stay still. Let's get the... Yeah, he's bald in this picture. Can I use that on there?
One thing had been bugging me since I'd found Regan's body. In the iconograph that the Count had given me, Regan was bald. Here, in the flesh, Regan had a full head of hair. I had to pull hard on his toupee to get it off. Regan must have glued it on to stop it from flying
Oh, there's
off
a key
as he drove the
inside.
carriage. Underneath the toupee was a small key.
Oh,
I
wow.
guess it must have been
That'd be
important,
useful.
or he wouldn't have glued it to his head.
I wonder if that's anything to do with this safety deposit box. I think I'm done with this thing. Sorry, pal. I tried. Guess better go back and tell the Count.
Sir has returned.
Sir has.
Who would Sir like to see?
Need to see the Count. I need to
Is the Count
give him the
receiving
bad news,
guests?
I'm afraid.
No, but he will see you.
I've got a few more questions for you, Count.
Yes, good questions. Go on.
Bad news, I'm afraid.
I'm afraid I have some bad news for you.
It's Regin, isn't it? He's dead.
I'm afraid so. I found his carriage near the Borderland Bridge. It must have lost control and skidded into the river. Regan must have drowned or suffocated. It's hard to say with the river like the Ankh.
Very well, of course. I will pay you for your time. If you should hear anything else in connection with this case, please let me know. Otherwise, consider the case closed.
There is one thing. I think Regan may have been involved with a troll singer named Therma. I'm not really sure about the details. I'm sort of investigating the Therma case at the moment. But since I'm not getting paid for it, I may have to give it up.
Indeed.
Pay me money.
How would you feel if I were to pay you for the Therma case?
Pay me
and
money.
Continue to investigate it.
Yes, please.
I'd
Pay me
feel
money.
A little bit richer and a lot happier.
Very well.
This guy's not going to last very long.
It's agreed.
Thank you very much.
I'll be back later.
I look forward to it.
So I'm getting mucho money now. I've got this key. Let's go back to Saturnalia. See if this key works in any of those boxes I found last time. Let's see if Carlotta knows anything about Regan's murder.
Still here?
Here's as good as anywhere.
Regan's murder.
Regan's dead.
I'm not surprised.
You don't seem to care.
Everybody dies, Lieutenant. Mundi, Regan, even you.
What's your point?
Dear.
No point. That's just life.
Yeah, she's a bit cold.
I've got things to do. I'll see you around, Carlotta.
Let's go over to the safety deposit boxes. Can I use this key on them? And don't tell me how to find out which one it is.
I figured a really good private investigator could do a lot of painstaking research and work out which box belonged to Regan. But I figured, hey, the guy's a dwarf. So I just tried all the lockers on the bottom row. Fitted into box 39 like a glove. Eventually.
Ooh, I got something. Clues.
Inside was an envelope and a bracelet with carved wooden charms. The plot thickened, and you could already stand a spoon up in it.
Oh, interesting. Let us examine these things.
I don't know why Regan kept a charm bracelet in his safety deposit box, but I guess he wanted to keep it safe. There was a strangely mystical feeling about the charm bracelet.
Interesting.
And I wasn't sure I liked it.
What's
The
this?
envelope had come from Regan's safety deposit box, and I had a feeling that it was important somehow. The thing was, it seemed to be empty. When I opened Regan's envelope, I don't know what I was expecting. What I wasn't expecting was to find that the envelope was empty. There wasn't even anything written on the inside.
Okay, that's interesting. Let's go to the temple. I suppose I should report the murder, really, to be honest.
I
Nobby,
need your help again, Nobby.
I have a crime to report.
Well, okay, I suppose. I told Nobby about finding Regan's body and the carriage in the river by the Borderland Bridge, and he promised he'd check it out.
Thank you.
Nobby, though. The best I could hope for would be he'd pass a memo on to someone else, and I wasn't hopeful for even that. Nobby had a simple attitude to police work. If a job's worth doing, it's worth finding someone else to do it for you.
Yeah, that sounds like a good maxim. Oh, I tried.
Well, I'm sure I'll be back.
Yeah, right, Luton.
So let's go to the temple, see what we get up there. That's not the temple. That's the temple. Let's see if he recognizes it.
Does this charm bracelet mean anything to you?
Well, well, it's a Glackding carved out of serendipitous redwood from Uberwald, I guess.
What does it do?
It brings luck.
Good luck or bad luck?
Both. First, it brings good luck. Little snacks of felicitous circumstances. But sooner or later, the wielder pays for any good luck with a massive dose of bad luck. A giant omelette of doom delivered by a mad god.
Great.
I love this
A
guy.
mad God's omelet. Do you want it?
Are you insane? Give it to someone who's desperate.
Ooh, that sounds like an idea. Maybe bonkers, but I do like him. Saturnalia. Isn't that wizard? I think the wizard here is down on his luck. Sorry, I'm speaking after I'm thinking. Let's go over this side then.
Can we talk, or do I have to play that stupid game again? Business is slow. We can talk.
Cool. I don't want to talk to you.
Time to excuse myself from the table, I think.
I want to talk to you.
Again, Warb.
Luton!
Do you think you can use this?
I had a feeling that Warb might be interested in the charm bracelet, but I didn't know what he had to offer me yet. The one thing I knew about gambling was that you kept your cards hidden until you needed them.
Okay, that's interesting. So I can give it to him, but not yet. Well, let's head back to the office and regroup. So we made some progress. We found Regan's body, and some extra bits we can look at next time. I think that's going to be it for this episode. See you guys shortly. Bye.